y'all. How are you?
Welcome to
Clink. We are your hosts. I am Kay.
and I am Cam.
And thank you and stopping by and watching yet another episode of Love and Marriage Detroit.
The
recap. Okay.
Recap.
So before we get started, won't you go ahead and hit that hit that like, comment, and subscribe, y'all.
And share.
And share, okay? So we are still recapping Love and Marriage.
Yes,
okay,
we're on
Detroit.
episode number 9.
You know the name of that?
Yes.
What is it?
Yo Scott come back to Detroit.
Ugh.
And I was not thrilled with that title. I was like, anyway, but we'll get it.
They just ran out of steam. You know what?
Come on now, y'all really need some, creative titles. Come holler at your girls, because that's what we do. I mean, no pun intended, but I'm just saying. Okay, so we start off with Anthony coming in hot. I mean, he was all with the all up in his face.
What did Brandon say? He was like, I shouldn't tell that you had like garlic for lunch or whatever.
I could smell your whole lunch. It was a trip. I thought that Anthony was being a tad bit aggressive. And I don't really see him. Well, I don't see neither one of them really as fighters. I mean, come on, you got the man bun, and then you got the extra sauce.
I mean, if I had to bet my money on Anthony. If I had to bet, because Brandon,
I would say I just throw up a white flag because they both seem like they a little soft to me. Okay, but I thought it was a bit much for him to be all in his face.
Yeah, that part I didn't.
And then when he put his hand, and you the man, I'm like, whoa. You know what? We black. So when the hand go up, that's automatic. Like, let me pop you before you pop me. So I think Anthony, you need to calm down.
Brandon good though, because I would have been like, yo, brother, back up something.
I think by Brandon being mixed, that he probably has had to deal with maybe a lot of that in his life seriously, and so he kind of just knows how to deal with it. But Brandon, I don't know. You should have had to become Mufasa. Your daddy is black, and
so I know you don't know
in the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. So everybody now. Away.
We haven't even been doing nothing. But my point is, it's like y'all just need to. I just really wish y'all just would have scrapped all that arguing and being up in each other's face. Just get them over with.
Do something.
But we do know one thing: they wouldn't have jumped up in Bravo or Russell face, because them two, I think them two would be like, they wouldn't be like, they'd be like,
right.
You want to see somebody?
They don't want that smoke. They don't want that smoke. So Brandon says that Anthony is not a true friend. This is in the confessional. You know how they say all that stuff in the confessional.
Behind each other's backs.
But Anthony says that he's ready to continue to rock with Brandon. But Brandon said he has to think about it.
Sometimes I don't know how Anthony really feels. Because one minute he'll be like, the brotherhood. And then the next minute he be throwing shade too. Because at first I was like team Anthony. Like, Anthony. But Anthony, I don't really know.
It's a messiness too.
So, do you have a lot of sisters, Anthony? That's what we want to know. Because hey. But so then we were talking. The girls were talking, and they wanted Kobe to have another baby. Talking about it's time for you to be working on Russell Jr. And Kobe like,
not right now. Why do people do that?
Not 2 under 2.
Why do people do that though?
Because people always want to have something to say, but you got to do what you gonna do with your body.
So I'm glad she has a good head on her shoulders.
Right, she like
think for herself.
Don't be trying to, especially with Christina, because Christina, she act like she don't, she said how much, especially when you have a lot of friends who are always telling you how much pressure it is, and that kids are a lot. You ain't gonna want to have no. You need a superwoman friend to tell you to have some more kids that you see that she has a lot of kids and she's getting everything done. Yeah. Not somebody who, you know.
Yeah,
we're gonna leave that figure right there.
So I know in one scene that Christina was saying that because Brandon at this point was telling Christina about Lyrique. And she was just, just going by her, telling us her experience with him. And she was like, they were cool, but he was getting weird. Like he was like trying to push up on her and everything. So she said she ended their professional relationship.
Yeah, but when Lyrique had talked to Anthony, he was saying like, "Oh, she's cool or whatever." So Lyrique, Sean,
right?
She said she ain't calling him. Sean. I guess his name's Sean, and that's what I'm going to call him. So,
but my thing is like with that, and I know this is jumping around, but when she said that, and she said she ended a relationship. This is before Brandon, all of that, right? So she ended a professional relationship.
Did she make sure she said professional with a capital P?
No, I put that in. That's on my note.
I remember her saying she ended the relationship.
No, she said she had to end things like working with him because he was getting a little weird.
And we know that sometimes men, when they work with women, can't get
and that close. You're writing together and you singing and stuff in the studio. But fast forward to the clip of next week maybe.
Oh, messy.
She wants to say like, it's time to get back in the studio.
Right, and she was all in his face like, see, Christine don't be knowing what she wants. She be all over the place.
And that's I can't wait for that. Even though that's in the future, but that's gonna be so messy because she got a husband as a producer.
But my thing is, evidently, when you have a husband that is a producer, I don't see him not trying to push her forward. Right. Maybe he did at one point and she didn't feel like that she was ready, but now that she does, I think Christine just needs attention. Whoever gonna give her some attention, she's gonna stand there and her voice is gonna go up and she's gonna get all she can. Yeah. But then,
so it's day at the dinner.
I hate that Christine talks all this stuff in her confessional too, but then when she gets around Toya, she doesn't say anything. I just wish people would address the elephants in the room and stop. They tiptoe around it. They never really get to the root of it. They tiptoe around it and just keep the tension going.
Yeah.
But Christine doesn't say anything about the tension between her and Toya. She said something about it to Brandon, but she never says it to Toya per se at this point. But when they came together
for dinner. When they had the private chef.
Yes. No, when Russell cooked.
No, the last dinner.
The last dinner.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But they were going to. Okay. Okay, because this one they're going to dinner, and Christina says she wants to. She brought the situation box so that they could try to hash out their issues. I thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah, what did I put on her? Toya said something about it was Toya or Kobe, one of them. They were saying that the situation box are like, there's gonna be some stuff with that box.
Yeah, but the situations that came up talking about how can I please my husband better, I was like, who's saying that? Girl.
Sexually, like how do you? What was the question?
It was like something about how do you please
start? How do you started? Because Bravo said fellatio introduction is always a good start.
Of course. What man wouldn't say that?
Right.
So the box, I was glad to see that they actually had fun at dinner. They laughed. Nobody got stressed out. Nobody took anything too seriously. They just really had a good friendly dinner, and that was refreshing to see. So what do you think about the girls at the bonfire?
At the fire pit.
When Christina brings up the weirdness.
Yeah, Toya's weirdness is in awkwardness. Christina feels that Dr. Toya makes her feel like she's the bad guy sometimes. So that's what she was saying. And you can tell the ladies, you can tell they had some wine because they were all relaxed like.
Wine is always a good thing because it does relax you and it does help take the bite off of some people because some people get like kind of weird. But I like the fact that Christina just, I mean, that Toya was just like, you just need to be accountable.
Yes,
That's what her issue is. Be
yes,
accountable. Own your
yes,
stuff. If you
yes.
said it, say you said it. If you did it, say you did it.
Because
That's
we've
all.
been saying this for episodes and episodes.
Since
She does
episode 1.
not take accountability for her actions
Not at all.
at all. So I'm glad, like you said, Toya brought that to her attention.
Right. And she just says, Toya's just saying, Chris, let your intentions be transparent. Let me know exactly where you're coming from without all this underlying stuff. And if we can do that, and if you can do that, then we can let bygones be bygones.
Yep. So after the chat with the ladies, we fast forward to Bravo and Anthony at Debo's
in
Southfield,
Michigan.
They have some great daiquiris. I
Yes.
don't really care for the food. To me, the food is mid.
But they're one of the premier places of daiquiris, and
Yeah,
they have
they're
a lot of
different flavors.
They are.
Yes. If you are in the Metro Detroit area, make sure you do stop by Debo's.
But I have had their food. Their food is actually pretty good. But you know, it's
To
like
me, it's mid. The chicken. I had the chicken wings, and I had some other things. I've been quite a few times. First time, me and him went, and then second time, it was a celebration for one of my coworkers that was leaving.
Well, I guess it must have been what day you went and who was the cook. Because when I went, it was fabulous. It was lobster. They have a really nice menu. And when the time that we went, the food was like so good. And I believe we had a food critic next to us because he ordered everything on the menu, and it looked really, really good. So maybe they put their best foot forward that day.
Yeah, probably. But it's still a good place. But you know, everybody's taste buds are different.
Yeah. But and I like the fact they said, but shout out to Debo's because you are a black owned Metro Detroit restaurant, and I'm really proud of you guys. They I know the story behind them. They were in athletics and coaches and stuff like that, and they got together and they did something different. So I'm all for
most definitely.
Yeah.
So you want to support a black business? That's one to support
the people.
All right.
And tell them that Kay said the food wasn't good, so you can make sure
I did not say it wasn't good. I did not for my taste buds.
She said
it was just mid.
For her taste buds, it was just mid.
But it's a great place though.
I hated the fact that I'm gonna get into it. That they they felt like that they needed to bring Marcel Scott in from Huntsville to come and speak at Anthony's Man Movement.
So Cam is not familiar with Marcel. I am because you know I watched and I still watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. That is the starter of all of these love and marriages. And Marcel is just a person that I do not care about. I don't, because if you watch the show, you know his character, which is portrayed, because I don't know the man personally.
Right.
It just saying some stuff is going on in his marriage and his wife don't want to believe it, just all of that. So I'm not a Marceau fan at all. But he is from Pontiac, and they did get him because you know it's all connected. You know, because they're Huntsville, and he's about to start. Yeah, and he's about to start his black business that he has in Huntsville here in Metro Detroit. So
he had to go all the way to Huntsville and get a business because you couldn't start it in Detroit first. Okay, but anyway, so Brandon goes to see his mother for his birthday.
Oh wait, so but with that saying though, so Brandon, not Brandon, what's his name? Anthony. Mm-hmm. He just explains to Marceau what the Man Movement is about, and when he was saying that, what I put in my notes, I had a better understanding of what it is, and it sounds great. I was like, okay, they're doing great things for black men. Wonderful.
I had a problem with it, but I'll get into that later because I know several men here that have organizations like that already that have helped young black men all across the metropolitan Detroit area in various ways. And I just think that even though I know it's a reality show, mm-hmm. that come and see what's already happening and join together with the men who already have movements such as Young Fathers Standing United with Quan Fish and his wife Tamika, and what they do, they try to keep families, black families together, even though sometimes you have children with a partner and you may not be married. So they try to help them navigate through the whole child support thing in a way that's fair to both the men and the women. And they also have a help the men if they've been incarcerated be able to talk to lawyers and get the resources and things that they need to get things expunged and help them get legal things as far as catering to the men and also health initiatives.
So Anthony, if you ever watch this, you know who else you can reach out to.
Quan Fish.
Okay.
For Young Fathers Standing United.
For your men's movement.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Next thing.
Also, hey Quan. Yeah. Shout out to my brother. So Brandon goes to see his mother, and as we have been told that Brandon's mother is Caucasian, so we get to have a face with the name. Okay, you wanna say what you're gonna say?
It's y'all okay. So the whole interaction with his mother, how we just got a little taste of what happened in his childhood. I felt sorry, and I'm just like, what? Because I'm not a parent, but I'm like, what type of parent, not show love or I don't know. It was just because Brandon said that like growing up, they didn't really because their relationship is it's not the best, but mom was like, I'm good with it. How can you be good with that?
I think his mother's older. She looked like not trying to say, but she did look like she was maybe in her late 70s or early 80s.
And she probably 55. No, I'm kidding. No.
Okay, got jokes. But people from that era are very stoic because my mother is around that age. And I love the fact when he checked her, was like, how do you think I feel being a young black man in the hood with a white mother? She said, how do you think I feel being white and being the only white woman in the hood? So I think it goes both ways. I think that she loved his father evidently for her to be a Caucasian woman, get married, have his babies during that time.
Yeah, and live in the hood.
And she made that clear. So I think that I have a son, but when boys reach a certain age, they don't want to be stuck up under their mama. Some boys do, some boys don't. And sometimes as a mom, you don't know how to communicate with them. So you kind of like be trying to figure it out as you go along. So I think with her and with the divorce and all the things that she had to endure, that maybe sometimes you get disconnected.
I mean, I get that, but I think my issue I had with that was that she was cool with how it is. Like she don't want it to get better.
But you don't know the rest of the story though. He could have been for the last however many years not wanting to talk to her, not wanting to be bothered. He could have shunned her because she was, he was ashamed. But we will never don't know at this point. So I think at least she did, but she did go to counseling with him.
She did, but she was like this. She made it clear like it's not gonna be all the time thing. See, and that's what I'm like. Oh.
I wasn't mad because see, when people get older, they get set in their ways and they routine, and it's hard for them.
She was like, "Oh, this is gonna be another thing I have to do." I'm like, this is a mom. I'm like, oh my god.
I'm gonna say this because my mother is 82, and she ain't doing what she don't want to do, and that's it.
Yeah.
And my dad was the same way. He'd be like, "This is what I'm doing. Are you done? What you need? You got it? Okay, I'll see you later because I got something to do." So.
Yeah,
we're grown. It's not like it's not like he was like a little kid and she was
but during the therapy session it did stop when he was a little kid at 8.
Well, we have to delve deeper because if she was a single Caucasian mother of 3 black boys, she might have been going through a lot.
Girl, please, you know how many people, single black mothers.
I said she was a single Caucasian woman with 3 black boys.
Whatever. It could be the other way around with a single black mother with mixed kids too.
Yeah.
But
we'll never know.
We'll never. Yeah.
Okay, but what about this man?
Oh Lord.
Dr. Toya, I love you because Toya got there and was like, "Where's this? Where's that?
What did Brandon say? He was like, "It's not a movement; it's just a mint."
I have to give you a high five, Brandon, And I give him a high five because although they did explain it
They did. He
earlier,
explained
it, it wasn't explained during the event. You didn't have no food, no tablecloths.
it. No
Why was y'all
chairs.
standing up? I didn't get that part.
And then like we did speak beforehand. I was like, when somebody walked in, I was like, he looked familiar.
Oh yeah, he an actor. He be on
Right.
the movie.
Right, with the red hat. Yeah, I was like, he
Demarius, I think that's his name.
he in the Dirty D, right?
Yeah, he in the Dirty D with me. Hey, boo. So I just say that to say, but he's been in a lot of films, so it's not, he's a familiar face that you would know. But it was kind of just like me watching this. I know it's reality TV, but I'm starting to see a lot of actors that are in it, which is fine. But just bring it on back. I just wish that you would have some, like I said, some real people who are doing real things on a deeper level. I know that it's reality TV, and
because reality TV it got away really from the reality part. It's more entertainment, it's more script than reality.
But we
like, can we get back to? I want to see like some real reality. Like, you know what? Maybe we have to make one. But
I think so. Because we can do that,
right? But one reality. This is taking a side journey. One reality show that I really loved, like back in the day, and I was like, I hated they canceled it. It was like no drama, nothing like that. It was the twins, Tia and Tamara. They're there. Yeah. I used to love their show
because it showed their real life, and you felt like you got to know them. But back to Brandon's comment about the men. Brandon, he did crack on the numbers. I swear that all the men that I saw there, other than the few actors, were from his from your father-in-law's church, because I swear he went and got the whole deacon board.
Yeah, so he said that it was like a good 24 people there. And
they bunched them up together. I didn't think it was quite 24. It looked
I didn't see 24 at all.
It looked like 15, 18 at the most.
But
and I hopefully the girls had heels on, so they wouldn't. I must have maybe put a baseball cap on and was trying to make it. No, I'm just playing.
The reverse Shakespeare. You know how back in the day Shakespeare, all the men were in the play. They played women parts and everything.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed. I agree with Brandon when he said, "What the hell is this?" But he said about Anthony being a bullshit artist, because Anthony does hyperinflate the things that he does, because he's like, all these men are coming.
But come on now, it was raining bad though. And especially men, it's hard to get men to go somewhere like that in the first place. So, and you put bad weather on top of that, and then you talking about some marching outside and it's pouring down raining.
I'm a female, and if I said I was having a man movement, I could get 20 people by myself, and you could too to come. So that's a no for me. But we gonna. I agree with Brandon, and
I halfway agree with him, because he was throwing some shade. But
again, Anthony, reach out to other organizations that are already here in Michigan, in Detroit metropolitan area, who are already doing these things.
You hear Toya, Dr. Toya, because she was like, so like, where your people at? And then she was like, well, do you have this? Do you have that? Because she said she wished she could have organized it, but she said that's his thing.
You know what?
Because he said he kept changing it. The time kept changing. I'm like, did he just throw it together?
Behind every great man is a woman.
Let us do us.
You got your helpmate.
Let us do us.
You got your helpmate. God gave you a wife, and she would have made sure it was on and popping. It is okay. You do not have to prove to me you're beautiful to strangers. She loved you. She got your back. Let her have your back, because that was whack.
Okay. But in the confessional, Anthony trying to spin and said, "Oh, it was a success." He said, "Normally he has way more people." He said, "But it fluctuates." He said, I can get when you throw events. When you throw events, you never know. Who's going to come and who's not going to come. He said sometimes it is light, sometimes it's a lot of people. So. I'm trying to take his word for it. I'm trying.
If they would have just went to all the churches, and if Russell would have brought his church members, and everybody else would have brought I think they would have had a better time. It's it was just the organization part of it. But Toya, you stood by your man. You said
She
yes,
did.
baby. It was
She
great.
did.
It was a success. So Toya, yes, that is great that you
But
stand
and they
by
were
your
just
man.
walking down the street. But I did agree with Brandon when he was like, so he said I was expecting
A
some
sign.
signs or some chants or they were just they were, like Marcel said, they were just taking a walk.
They
They
had
were
a
just
stroll.
exercising.
They had a stroll.
Cause I'm like, okay,
And the street wasn't
so
wet like it had rained either. We're gonna leave that
right.
alone.
I'm pissed.
I was like, why is the street dry? And they just had a whole thunderstorm. Did we do lights, camera, action? Did we have some thunderstorm noises? Cause but
Oh man.
okay.
Oh,
So
did we edit in another rainstorm from somebody else? From another day? Like,
so back to Brandon's therapy session with his mother. Everything looks staged. Him and Christine were standing by the sink. She's holding a sponge in her hand with a empty sink of dishes. No, everything just looks staged. Nothing looks like it's really their home. Even the way when the mother came in, Christina didn't hug his mother.
I got that. I got that on my notes. I said when Brandon, what did I say? I got that. I said when Brandon's mom come to the house, I said it was weird to me that nobody hugged. Christina didn't hug mom's, son and
Everybody was
mom and son.
cold.
Nobody
I
hugged.
was like, y'all cold. I mean, because if you're
Cold. Hug it.
freeze, it was frozen up in there. Nobody acknowledged her. Nobody. They were friendlier to the therapist than they was to his mother. And I was
But
like,
the mom
wow.
didn't do nothing either.
Well, she old. You supposed to hug. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, you are. You are.
It was weird.
It was.
The mom says that when he was a child, he was not very. He didn't talk a lot. He was very.
And then I was like,
verbal.
they do mobile therapy. Because I know what
that part too. I'm like,
oh,
she come to your home.
mobile
How much do they
therapy.
cost? So usually therapists, you either meet them online
Online or in their office.
Yeah. So that was like kind of
Okay.
staged. It's like y'all couldn't find an office where they could. I'm just saying. Okay, we're gonna stay out of that. But I was tripping out because later on, Kobe was like, felt like that her and Russell needed to go to couples therapy. I was kind of like, out of all three couples, they
the communication, that communication is trash with them. So they can tune that up.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't just go to therapy when things are wrong. You should go even when things are right. So again, you get a nice tune up
just to stay
in your relationship,
just to stay cohesive and stay on track. I just wish during this whole thing that back to Anthony that he did have some type of pamphlet, a T-shirt, a logo, a sign, a basic T-shirt.
Because he talked all this junk. He talked all this big junk. I'm a this, I'm a that, mover, shaker. But then we see this event. But like Marceau was chuckling a little bit. He was like, okay. He was like, well, this is a start. Everything has to start. He's like, maybe, next time you can, just take it to the next level. He was like trying to give some advice.
Yeah, but I understand it wasn't. But I'm going to tell you what, and Toya, you got my utmost respect. I believe that if he would let her help him, she would have helped organize. She would have also, because as women, we're going to naturally call people and be like, hey, girl, bring your husband.
And Kobe could have done, to create some content on social media.
We would have advertised. That's what God gives you women for. And I think she was just letting him be free to do him. But in the future, Anthony, let your wife assist.
Yeah.
She will be more than happy to, because as women, we love helping. That's why when women have events, our stuff always goes off because we got each other and we help each other out. So you better use that jewel that you have, honey. Let me give me a sip.
So that was pretty much. So it stopped with the therapy session, right? With Brandon and his mom, and and I have in my notes that mom said she would like to have conversation with him sometimes, and he said that he feels like she can either take it or leave it, and then he broke down. Because I'm like, yeah, that's how I take it too.
But then you, as a parent, you can't just pop up on me She made his cake for his birthday. And her
that cake looked good. I bet that cake was good.
She said it was cherry. Ooh,
Cherry
she made
chip.
it look good.
Mm.
But he pops up on his birthday to get his cake. But we don't know. Do we ever take his mother to the store? Do we ever spend time with her? He might not even call his mother. And when people get older, they need that. So for you to just pop up and be like, okay, because we don't know the real dynamic.
Right.
And with cameras, and luckily she agreed to that. Because
Right.
She probably would have been like, what you got these people up in here
Right.
for?
Like you see his brother didn't agree because on all the pictures and stuff, they blurred him out.
Yeah. So my thing is, we don't know the whole dynamic. Yeah, she made him a cake. But what happened before the cake? What happened before the show? People go, because I was talking to somebody, one of my clients, he was like, he haven't talked to his son in like 6 years.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
6 years.
6 years? What kind of father are you? But that's not my business because you never know people's dynamics. But I do like the fact that she is open to trying.
Yeah. Okay, y'all. So let us know again. How did you like episode 9? What do you think of Brandon's and his mother's relationship dynamic? What did you think of the man's movement?
And what did you think about him, Anthony jumping up in Brandon's face and him not beating him down? Brandon, I would love to see you take like karate lessons, but that's another thing. But yeah.
Yeah, so and we saw, snippets for the next one where Christina see Lyrique. Again, if it was weird and all of that, and you didn't even know Brandon, why you want to work with him now? And
why would you want to work with his wife and you know that he's
storyline?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Lyrique made a little remark about him working with Christina. It was
what he say? He's like, I had her first.
Yes.
Woo! I was like, oh, it's about to go down. It's about to go down.
I don't know how Brandon gonna handle that, but if you don't puff up after that, I don't know what to tell you. Take karate lessons. But we thank you for joining us on Cam and K's Clink.
Yes.
And we would like for you to like, subscribe, make a comment, send us an email at allthingscamandk@gmail.com.
Yep, if it's something you want us to review. I believe we're going to do, what are we doing next? All the Queen's Men?
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to do All the Queen's Men. So this one has to catch up, though.
I do.
So thank you. And we will see you next week with episode 10. All right. So in the meantime,
see if they're going to be throwing them bows.
All right. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Clink.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sip, sip, sip. Remember, sipping makes you feel more relaxed.